So what I'm about to show you is how to do a wall button hack for a newer Chamberlain LiftMaster or Craftsman garage door opener that has buttons on the back or side that look like that. So basically, this is a new opener, and what I want to do, this is a new Chamberlain, and I want to use an old LiftMaster remote from 1999. However, this remote is not compatible with this opener. As you can see, if I come back here and I push the learn button, the opener does not recognize the remote. So in order to use this remote, we're going to have to use this receiver, which is compatible with that remote. But here's the problem with this receiver, is that this receiver works off the basis of just shorting two wires together. The problem is, with this opener, as I have two bare wires that are connected to the wall button terminals, if I go and short these wires, nothing happens. It just sits there and these blink because it thinks that the wire to the wall button is shorted. This opener works by using a wall control that sends, like this one, that sends, an encoded signal to control the opener. So you cannot just short two wires to operate this. So what I need to do to get that remote and receiver to work on this opener is I need to do a little hack to this wall button here. This is the LiftMaster model 882 LMW. And you can use really any Security 2.0 wall console for this, and this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how this is done. So this will require soldering, just so you guys are aware, but I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you guys how this is done. So I've got my soldering station all set up right next to me, and we're going to have to take this wall button apart so that we can get at the spot we need to solder. And I'll also kind of explain how this works once I do that. So basically, to take this particular button apart, you've just got two screws that you're going to undo, and just put those where you won't lose them. Alright, and then this part will be a little bit tricky, but you got to get your circuit board off. If you can you can sometimes just kind of pry out on this case gently. Do that to both sides, and then the whole thing will come off and slide out like so. Now this is the circuit board. Now you can see right here is our little button to control the opener. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find basically pick two corners. So either this point, let me bring it closer in, so either this point and this point, or this point and this point. I'm looking at the camera, it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing here, but basically, if you short two corners, that counts as pressing this button. This button here is basically shorting the two wires. Pressing this button generates the encoded signal that runs the opener. So basically, what you need to do is just, if you connect the receiver to these two, to this button here, you're going to be shorting this. You're basically, the receiver is shorting this and generating the encoded signal. So I'm going to go and grab the rest of the stuff I need, and then I'm not very good at soldering, so I'm not going to do it on camera, but like I said, pick two corners and I'll show you when I'm all done here as well. Alright, we are back. I've got the two wires soldered onto the button. Yeah, as you can see, my soldering job is not the greatest, but it will work. So now, when we take the other end of this wire right here and we short them, it's basically just like acting like pressing this button, and that will generate the encoded signal to operate the garage door. So now we need to put this wall control back together. So I'm going to kind of route these wires to where they won't really be in the way. So if we kind of get them this will probably be good right here. So you want to route the wires to where they're not going to really get in the way of anything. So right there should be good. Although you don't want it to get behind any of these rubber pieces. So just kind of mess around with it a little bit until you get it at the right spot. And this should be good right here. And then this will snap into place like so. Alright, the circuit board is now in place. Now just test. Press that button, it works just fine. All the buttons appear to press like they should. Nothing seems to be getting in the way of the wires, or the wires don't seem to be getting in the way of anything. So now you're just going to put your screws back. And once you've got your screws back on, then we are going to head back downstairs. And I'm going to do a little more explaining. I'm not going to tighten these screws down all the way because we are going to have to put some wires on these terminals here. So just screw them in part way. And now we're going to head back downstairs. Alright, I'm back and I'm going to kind of explain how this is going to work. So what I'm going to be doing up here is where I'm going to be mounting the wall button, the hacked wall console. And I'm going to need to run a wire from here over to right, you can see it right there, where my terminal strip is. And then I'm going to need to run another wire from, right down here, from this wall console. We're going to run that one up, along with my several other wires, back to the opener. So, first thing I'm going to do is get my wall button mounted, all of my wires routed, and then we will be back.